Have you ever woken up and felt like something in your body had quietly slipped away? Not in a painful way, but in that subtle, almost unspoken sense that you're not as alive in the mornings as you once were. For many men over 65, the loss of morning strength feels like a silent thief. One day you notice it's gone, and nobody really talks about it. Maybe you've been told it's just age, just the way things are now. But deep down, a part of you wonders if that's really the whole story. The truth is, this change is not always about decline. More often, it's about disconnection. Your body isn't broken, it's simply been waiting for the right signal to wake up again. And that signal is still within your reach. You don't need another prescription bottle or a complicated routine. What you need is a way to remind your body how to respond the way it once did. Today, I'm going to share a gentle but powerful method to restore that natural rhythm. It's rooted in both science and time-tested wisdom, and it begins with three simple points on your body when you know where they are and how to activate them with care. You can bring back the energy, circulation, and confidence you thought you'd lost. This isn't about chasing youth. It's about reconnecting with the man you still are. It's about waking up with a quiet pride and feeling at home in your own skin again. So before we begin, subscribe to Life After 65 and tell us in the comments where you're watching from, because this is a conversation for men everywhere. And it's time we talked openly about how to keep our bodies alive and responsive no matter our age. Most men think that losing their morning vitality is just part of growing older. But I want you to picture this differently. Imagine an engine that hasn't been started in a while. The parts are still there. The power is still there. It only needs the right spark to roar back to life. What's missing is not the ability, it's the signal. Over the years, stress, shallow breathing, poor circulation, and lack of movement can dim that signal. Your body, much like a trusted old friend, doesn't disappear. It simply grows quiet when it's not called upon. The good news is that quiet doesn't mean gone. With the right kind of touch, pressure, and presence, you can wake it up again. And when you do, it often responds faster than you expect. I've seen men in their late 60s, 70s, even 80s regain that familiar sense of strength. Not because they turned back the clock, but because they learned how to reconnect with what was already there. They began to listen to their body again. They started giving attention to the places that had been forgotten. This is where the first key point comes in. It's right above your pubic bone, a small area rich with nerve endings and connective tissue. When you press here gently while breathing slowly through your nose, you send a message to your body. You tell it to wake up, to let blood flow again, to open the pathways that have been quietly closing over time. It doesn't take force, it takes intention. Rest your fingers there. Hold for 20 or 30 seconds, breathe, and notice the warmth. Do this each morning, and over time you may begin to feel subtle changes. A bit more fullness, a little more life where there's been stillness. Have you noticed how your body responds to even the smallest changes in care? Let me know if you've tried something like this before, because when we share, we remind each other that we're not alone in this journey. And speaking of signals, the second point might surprise you. It's a place that few men ever think about, and even fewer talk about. Not in the locker room, not at the doctor's office sometimes, not even with their closest friends. Yet it holds an incredible amount of influence over your circulation, your sensitivity, and your overall vitality. This point is found in the space between your anus and your scrotum. In Eastern medicine, it's seen as the meeting place of life force. In modern anatomy, it's part of your pelvic floor, a network of muscles, fascia, and nerves that directs blood flow to the most intimate part of your body. When it's tight, neglected, or weak, it can act like a kink in a hose blocking the flow. But when you relax and stimulate it mindfully, it opens. Blood moves again, the nerves begin to fire, and the body remembers what it was built to do. I once worked with a man named Harold, a retired firefighter in his 70s. He told me he hadn't felt much sensation down there in almost a decade. Pride kept him from speaking about it for years, but deep down he missed that quiet sign of life each morning. I showed him how to sit gently on a soft towel, letting it rest right under this point. No pushing, no forcing. Just sitting, breathing, and letting his body remember. Within days, Harold noticed warmth spreading through his lower body, a faint pulse, and soon after a small but unmistakable stirring in the morning. He said it felt like finding an old friend who had never truly left, just been waiting in silence. This is the beauty of the second point. It doesn't require expensive tools or complex exercises. It simply needs your presence, your breath, and your patience. Have you ever paid attention to this part of your body? I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comments because many men have never considered it until now. And when you combine it with the third point, you create a connection that's even more powerful. The third point sits along the inner crease of your thigh, right where the thigh meets the pelvis. It's a spot most men never think to touch with intention, yet it's one of the main gateways for blood flow into your pelvic region. Here your femoral artery lymph channels and important nerve pathways run close to the surface. When you stimulate this area gently, you help open the gates for fresh, oxygen-rich blood to reach your core. This isn't about pressing hard or causing discomfort. It's about using steady, mindful pressure to invite circulation. You can use your fingertips, the palm of your hand, or even a warm washcloth pressed gently against that crease. Hold for about 30 seconds, then switch to the other side. As you do, breathe deeply and slowly, letting your belly rise and fall. Over time, many men report feeling warmth, radiating upward, even a subtle pulsing sensation. That's a sign that your circulatory system is responding, delivering the fuel your body needs to function well. And when this area is activated regularly, it not only supports your intimate health, but also boosts overall vitality in your hips and legs. I remember speaking with Leonard, a former carpenter in his late 60s. He told me he always assumed stiffness in his lower body was just part of aging. But after trying this technique daily for a couple of weeks, he noticed not only more morning vitality, but also an easier stride when walking. His legs felt lighter and his steps more confident. Have you ever thought about how much your legs and hips contribute to your intimate health? Leave a comment and let me know because many men are surprised by this connection. Now, when you bring together all 3 points, the area above the pubic bone, the space beneath, and the inner thigh crease, you form what I call a triangle of restoration, and that's where the real transformation begins. When these 3 points work together, they create a powerful network of signals between your brain, your nerves, and your blood vessels. It's like tuning an old radio that's been just a little off frequency. Once the signal comes through clearly, everything begins to respond again. Think of it as rebuilding a bridge that time has worn down. Each point on its own can make a difference. But when all 3 are activated regularly, you're sending a clear and consistent message to your body. Wake up. It's time to work again. The beauty of this triangle of restoration is that it's completely natural. You don't need expensive equipment or risky procedures. You don't have to explain yourself at the pharmacy or worry about side effects. You just need your own hands a few minutes each day and the willingness to be consistent. Many men notice the first changes within days. A subtle warmth in the morning, a sense of fullness that feels familiar, a quiet return of confidence when you look in the mirror. These are not just physical signs. They're emotional reminders that you're still here, still capable, still alive in ways that matter deeply. And here's something worth remembering. This practice isn't only about physical performance. It's about connection. Connection to your body, your breath, and your identity as a man. When you start to feel that again, it can change the way you move through your entire day. Have you ever noticed how one small shift in your body can lift your mood for hours? Let me know in the comments because your experience could encourage another man who needs to hear it. But as powerful as these points are, they work even better when supported by a few simple daily habits that keep the blood flowing and the nerves active. The first habit is deep belly breathing every morning. It might sound too simple, but this single practice can change the way your entire body responds. When you breathe into your lower belly, you activate the part of your nervous system that tells your body it's safe to relax. And when you're relaxed, blood flows more freely and your pelvic nerves receive stronger, clearer signals. Here's how to do it. Lie down or sit comfortably. Place one hand over your belly. Inhale slowly through your nose, letting your belly rise under your hand. Then exhale gently through your mouth, letting your belly soften. Do this for 5 minutes each morning. Over time, you'll feel more grounded, more alert, and more connected to your body. The second habit is simple morning hydration. When you wake up, your body is naturally dehydrated, and that makes your blood thicker and harder to move. Start the day with 2 glasses of room temperature water and a small pinch of natural salt like Celtic or Himalayan. This helps balance your electrolytes and improve circulation, including to your most vital areas. The third habit is gentle morning movement. You don't need heavy workouts. Just 3 minutes of slow, mindful walking can make a difference. Let your hips sway slightly, feel your feet connect with the ground, and breathe deeply. This light motion helps direct blood into your hips, lower back, and groin exactly where you want it. The fourth habit is 1 minute of mindful touch. Place your hands gently over your lower belly, your chest, or your thighs. No goal, no rush, just connection. This tells your body it's valued, respected, and safe, and that safety opens the door to responsiveness. And the fifth habit is nightly warmth over your pelvis. A warm towel, a heating pad, or a hot water bottle placed just below your navel for 5 to 10 minutes can soothe tight muscles, open blood vessels, and support hormone production. Which of these 5 feels easiest for you to start tomorrow? Let me know in the comments, because even choosing one can set you on the path to change. Now let's bring it all together so you know exactly where to begin. You now have the full picture. 3 key points that can wake up your body's natural response, and 5 simple habits that keep the system alive and working. None of this is complicated. It doesn't demand hours of your day or expensive equipment. What it does require is consistency and a willingness to believe that your body is still capable. Start small. Choose one point to activate today and one habit to support it. Maybe you'll begin with the spot above your pubic bone and a short session of deep belly breathing. Or perhaps you'll focus on the inner thigh crease and add morning hydration. What matters most is that you begin. Over the weeks, these small steps build on each other. The warmth grows stronger. The signals get clearer. You start waking up with a sense of pride again, knowing that life is still moving through you. And with that pride comes confidence, not just in your body, but in the man you are. If this message spoke to you, share it with a friend or a brother. You never know who might be quietly struggling and in need of hope. And don't forget to like this video, leave a comment about where you're watching from, and subscribe to Life After 65 so you never miss the next conversation we have together. Your strength doesn't fade with age. It changes, it matures, it evolves. And when you care for it the right way, it can shine just as brightly as ever. Take the first step today and let your body remember what it was always meant to do.